Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war sounds, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous veins pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah! Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war sounds, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous veins pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here this evening with the Metalheads Truck Series, ready to go back to battle, ready to duke it out here this afternoon. As our A-Main feature event is about to get underway, these drivers are done their qualifying session and they are ready to duke it out. They're ready to go to battle. They're ready to rock and roll here for 200 laps here at the beautiful Iowa Speedway. Man, this is going to be this is going to be an interesting race. We've seen some really, really good races here at Iowa. We've seen some really crazy races with an abundance of caution flags and issues out there on the Speedway, so it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this one's going to work out. As Shawnarita says, hashtag Winker Nation. My boy Kevin Winker says, love Iowa. Let's see if we can have a repeat from a few weeks ago. Looking for a good finish and a solid run here this afternoon. two for Mr. Winker himself. As drivers getting lined up out there on the racetrack, they're going to get ready to start rolling out onto the speedway. Starting on the pole in that Sparkle and Shine anything EC number 2 machine, it's Daniel Dow. To his outside will be the Sinclair Dyno Care number 6 ride. It is Rusty Modesty. Starting in position number 3 in the QH Design number 97 ride, that is Colton Hardy. To his outside in the Muleburger Custom Homes, number 51 is Joshua Moore. Starting in position number 5, it's another one of those Sparkle and Shine machines, as that's Nathan Nixon starting there in 5th. To his outside will be the 27, the Celsius ride of Nick Gardner. Then we see the 92 ride, that is Clinton Woodby there in position number 7. To his outside will be that 5 ride of Matt Hayden. Hayden will start in 8th. Starting in position number 9 in the 196 is the Jenks ride. That is the beautiful looking ride here this afternoon for Caleb Kleinert, as Kleinert will start there in 9th. To his outside in the Sparkle and Shine number 15 ride, that is Michael Madden. Then we see Justin Rodden. We see Dylan Haas there in the number 11 ride. We see the 133 of Ashley Ellison Jr., Mark Beverly, John Herbert, Paul Ferdinandi there in position number 16 on the racetrack. John Herbert right there, as well as we see Skylar Berry, Kevin Winker, K-Dub back there in that 17th spot is Bruce Bernard there in 19th, Nate Cogdell back in 20th, Joe Bennett, Jason Steptoe, Coop Reed there in 23rd. And on the racetrack, as it looks like Keith Prince not out there on the speedway, so 23 trucks ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go. As they get ready to rock and roll, they get ready to duke it out here in this one. Dow, Modesty, 1 and 2 on the speedway, getting ready to see that green flag fly, getting ready to have 200 laps of racing action here this evening. Now this is gonna be a wild one, chat. I don't know. Iowa has been a very up and down racetrack for us. We've seen really good races and a lot of hard green flag laps, but we've also seen a lot of races go absolutely crazy with a ton of caution flags. We'll have to wait and see how this one plays out as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are quickly green flag racing as Dow looks to try to move up and clear that 6 ride, but Modesty with a great run out of corner number 2 stays right there to his outside. But now down through corner number 3 and out of 4, looks like that 2 machine will slide up and able to clear that 6 run. We'll see if Modesty takes a big run down to the inside as door to door back there behind him is Colton Hardy looking to clear that number 40 and Nathan Nixon. Nixon looking to continue to race his way up towards the front of the field is Joshua Moore there in position number 5 now on the racetrack. Gardner there in 6 with would-be Hayden, Kleinert, and Michael Madden all stand right where they started, but here comes Dylan Poss there in that 11 ride. Justin Rodden, the number 87 of John Herbert, up a couple spots early in this race. Skylar Berry up a few spots there in that beautiful number 46 ride, the beautiful 46 ride, the Mission 22 SR, the Stadium Rat machine there in position number 14, battling door to door. That Napa Auto Parts 133 machine of Ashley Ellison Jr. is out in front. It's Daniel Dow who continues to lead the way. Dow out in front with Rusty Modesty there in second. Nathan Nixon now up and into third and quickly onto the back bumper here of that Sinclair Dyno Care ride. Looking to see if he can find another spot out there on the racetrack as Clinton Woodby last time around laid down the quickest lap of this race as we see the caution flag fly. So our first caution flag going to come out early in this race as the yellow flag has been presented, and it looks like Paul Ferdinandi going to run into some problems out there on the racetrack. Let's take a look back and see what happens here to Paul out there on the racetrack. Looks like this truck already a little bit sideways, and unfortunately for him, going to have some issues right here. Looks like he sees the 13 running into problems. He kind of just gets checked up, trying to avoid potentially running into that 13 ride, and as he does that, just loses the rear end right here. As he starts to lift, the rear end just steps out and around on him, and down the racetrack he goes. You'll see Kevin Winker, K-Dub. He says he loves this racetrack, but we just saw K-Dub Drive up into the outside fence right there. Pretty heavy hit there for Kevin Winker. Let's take a look at Winker down low. He's sliding here himself. The tires in the track definitely proven difficult early on in this race. You watch that 42 get loose right there. Tries to correct it. All of a sudden washes up the track. Hard contact into the outside fence. Pretty heavy right side damage there for the 42 as he'll look to try to get that repaired. He's down pit road trying to get that thing fixed up. You saw Nick Gardner having to make that looks like he came down pit road right here. I'm not sure what happened to Nick Gardner, but he was down pit lane. I'm not sure if he had damage beforehand. No, it looks like he's serving a penalty from previous race as he was up inside the top 10. We saw this car go down pit road there before that caution flag, and luckily enough, that yellow flag does come out as all of these drivers go around him. He loses all that track position. He's lucky that this thing did not go clean and green, or else that would have virtually took him out of this race and probably would have put him a lap down in a quick hurry. But down through corner number 2, out of the back straightaway there, we see that caution flag flying for Nick Gardner. It's a good choice here as it's going to be able to keep him on the lead lap. He's able to just roll down pit lane. Our race leaders have not caught him yet. The pace truck hasn't pulled out as there comes our race leaders right there. And luckily enough, he's able to just get rocking and rolling. This is where we're actually going to see them start racking back behind him. So it was the lap before that caution flag, and luckily enough, he's able to just stay right in front of that lead pack. Good roll right there for him, and just staying out of it there is a big bonus for that number 27 is my boy Justin Johnson. What's good, Justin? Justin coming in, setting it off here in this one with a 100-star dono. What's good, brother? How are you? Mr. Johnson coming in, dropping the 100-star dono here. The big D of the day early on here in this one. I appreciate that, Justin. Showing the love already here this afternoon. As Brandon Noah says, hashtag Winker Nation is well cheering on K-Dub here this evening, as K-Dub looking to have himself a good run, a solid drive, and looking to hopefully try to put himself up and into victory lane here this evening, but already running into some early issues for that 42 right now. He is able to get that car somewhat repaired. He's going to get a little extra fuel into that 50 right as he does head back down pit road. Now he's going to definitely make sure that this truck is a little bit more fixed up, trying to get every little bit of damage repaired there as you see that right front pretty tore up after pancaking that outside fence. Pretty heavy damage there for him, and unfortunately you may need another couple caution flags here. I'm not sure if the crew is going to be able to get that repaired this time going down pit road and just trying to get this thing fixed up. They're only able to do so much to it, and it looks like he's just going to get that splash of gas and go as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. And for him, you don't want to be down pit road for too long, as you want to be able to catch up to the back of the pack and hope to stay on the lead lap here this evening. As here we go, back to green flag racing here at Iowa Speedway after our first caution flag early in this race there on lap number 4. As we said, man, we've seen these races go kind of back and forth. We've seen them be really, really good. We've seen lots of green flag runs, but we've also seen a lot of times where cautions continue to break cautions, and we can easily hit double digits of yellow flags in a heartbeat here at Iowa Speedway. As Daniel now with that restart quickly back onto the loud pedal, able to clear that 6 of Rusty Modesty and able to keep his teammate right there on his back bumper, as well as the Sparkle and Shine rides now sit 1 and 2 on the speedway. As Nathan Nixon up into second, Modesty slides back to third. We'll see if he can work his way back around that 40 ride, but now he's got to work and try to figure out how to keep this Muhlenberger Custom Homes Toyota back there at bay. It's Joshua Moore looking to try to jump back up into third here as that 51 machine slides there in fourth. You do see a big move down low. Modesty with a great truck here this afternoon, and down low able to flex a little bit of muscle, working to the inside here of Nathan Nixon, trying to keep himself in that second spot, seeing if he can go back to work on our race leader, see if he can try to put this Dyno Care ride up and in to victory lane here this evening. It's Colton Hardy there in fifth. Now, unfortunately for Hardy, early on in this race, the QH Design, the Sonic Graphic Designs number 97 ride fell back a couple positions, but he got to point it back in the right direction. Back still hanging on to a top 5 and looking to try to race his way back up into that third spot where he started here this evening. The Jegs 196 of Caleb Kleiner there in 6th, with Michael Madden right behind him. Another one of those Sparkle and Shine rides, looking to try to race his way up to the front of the field with Clinton Woodby, Dylan Poss, and Matt Hayden rounding out our top 10 on the racetrack. as Hayden rolls there in that 10th position. We see Justin Rodden there in the John Cena. I don't know how we can even see this truck right here. Is John Cena out there on the racetrack? We can barely even see that truck out there. It's going to be miraculous if we can see this 0-1 car out there on the racetrack here this afternoon with John Cena on board with it here this evening. It's John Herbert right there behind him in position number 12. Mark Beverly up into position number 13 now on the racetrack in that 13 truck is the Busch Light Machine working down low, able to find a couple little lanes right there as we do see the 51 slow down the front straightaway here for Joshua Moore. A big mistake out there on the racetrack. Let's play it back and take a look at this 51 right as he's got some heavy right front damages, maybe a little contact, a little help right here. Yeah, right there. There's that contact. Unfortunately, him and Colton Hardy come together and Joshua Moore up the track and into the outside fence right here. Oh, man, that is a heartbreaker right there. Heavy, heavy front right damage. We saw virtually that same spin, that same hit go to the other Muhlenberger Custom Homes truck out there on the racetrack already with that 42 of Kevin Winker. Winker's back here behind him now, but no caution flag. Both drivers going to be hoping to see that yellow flag come out now in a quick hurry as they get some pretty heavily damaged right fronts out there on the speedway as here they are battling back in the 21st and 20th position on the racetrack. Is out in front. It's still Daniel Dow. Dow able to continue to hold on to this race lead. Rusty Modesty back there in second, trying to stick right to his back bumper. Not letting that do-right run away with this one is Nathan Nixon there in third. Hardy hangs on to position number 4 here. Doesn't look like any damage at all to that 97 right after the contact between him and that 51 machine. Michael Madden, though, he'll say thank you to that one as he's got his Sparkle and Shine Anything EC number 15 right now, up 5 positions and rolling there in position number 5 now on the racetrack. He would love to try to jump up there and try to help and battle with his teammates Nathan Nixon and Daniel Dow, our race leader, for a lot of these laps here this afternoon, and maybe see if they can put another one of these Sparkle and Shine rides up and into victory lane here in the Metalheads Truck Series. As Caleb Weiner, they're in position number 6. Dylan Boss up also 5 spots here now into position number 7. Clinton Wood be back a spot here from where he started, now back in 8th. Justin Roddy and Mark Beverly rounding out our top 10 as Beverly's worked himself now up 5 positions, as well as our Hard Chargers are a little deeper in the field here as Coop Reed in the 14 ride. He's now up into position number 16 here, up 6 spots on the speedway. Same with Jason Steptoe. Both these drivers up 6 spots early in this race as he's got the Wendell Scott number 50 ride rolling there in position number 17. Cooper Reed right in front of him in that Geek Bar with Jules St. Speed Shop number 14 machine back there in the 16th position. As Bridget says, hashtag Awaker Nation cheering on K-Dub here this afternoon as Kevin already running into some issues here in this race, but he does still have himself inside the top 20, still on the lead lap, but hoping for a couple caution flags. He's going to be hoping for a couple yellow flags out there, still trying to get that damage repaired on the 42 truck after early in this race getting up and into the outside fence on corner exit there, right at corner number 2, virtually right about this spot right here. Lost the handle of it, trying to correct it, unfortunately overcorrected, and right there you see the marks up on that outside fence where he got up into the fence there and unfortunately got that heavy right side damage to that 42 as he'll look to try to get that repaired, try to get himself up to the front of the field as he does love this racetrack. He jumped up into the chat, told us earlier that he loved Iowa and he loves this racetrack, so he was trying to hope for a good day, and already it's kind of went a little bit sideways for him. Jessica also coming in, cheering on K-Dub here this evening, says hashtag Winker Nation with the winky kissing faces there as well. I appreciate that, showing the love there, and I'm sure K-Dub's going to feel every little bit of it here and hope that that can help him out here and maybe push him to strive and drive and get himself a little bit better of a run here this evening and maybe try to park that 42 up and into victory lane. As Daniel Dow out in front, continuing continuing to lead the way. Modesty right there in second. Now they've started to separate themselves a little bit from our third place driver, Nathan Nixon. As Nixon about 7/10 of a second back behind this number 6 machine, as Nixon now try to stay in that third position, feeling a little bit of pressure from the 97 of Colton Hardy. Is Hardy right there on his back bumper. We'll see if he can work that Sonic Graphic Designs winning bid number 97 ride up and into the third position. As Colton Hardy trying to get back into position number 3. It's right where he started here this afternoon early on. Fell back a few spots, but has raced his way now back into position number 4, and he is looking for more. As Michael Madden there in 5th, trying to hold on and hold off Caleb Kleiner there in 6th. Dylan Paz, Clinton Woodby, Justin Rodden, and Nick Gardner, after going almost a lap down early in this race, having to make that pass-through penalty there on lap number 3. Had to come down pit road all by himself. Just got back out onto the racetrack in front of our race leaders. Did not go a lap down, as the caution flag shortly after getting back onto the racetrack came out and saved that 27 from being a lap down victim early in this race. And here he is racing his way all the way back up inside the top 10. Heck of a rebound already on the day for Nick Gardner, as Mark Beverly right there behind him. Matt Hayden back there in 12. Skylar Berry, Justin Herbert, Coop Reed now running out our top 15, as Coop right now is our hard charger out there on the racetrack. Is Ashley Ellison Jr. there in 16th with Jason Steptoe. Nate Cogdell, the 05 machine, that is Joe Bennett, the 44 of Paul Ferdinandi, rounding out our top 20. Kevin Winker there in 21st. Bruce Barnard back in 22nd. There's Bruce there in that Florida Gators number 17 ride. And Joshua Moore with that heavy right front damage there on the 51 truck. Obviously struggling hard here, trying to just keep that truck pointed in the right direction. And quickly he may go a lap down and be the first driver a lap down here this evening, as here's our race leader, only quarter, maybe even half of a straightaway back behind at 51, and he is losing time in that rapid pace here, as we'll have to wait and see how this one kind of plays out. Tires are going to play a major factor. Tires and tire wear and everything else. Fuel mileage always going to be a game to play here this afternoon as well, but those tires are going to be oh so important as we look at these drivers. Even after having a few of those caution laps early in this race, we really only ran virtually, I would say, about 25, 27 green flag laps out there on the speedway, and the tire fall off already well over 1 second out there on the racetrack. So losing a second of time every 25, 30 laps or so. After a little while, man, you're going to be really begging to just try to head back down pit road and get a fresh set onto your truck. As here we go, our second caution flag of the day. Yellow flag going to come back out here in this one, potentially saving that 51 right at Joshua Moore, and potentially saving that 42 at Kevin Winker, as they're going to be able to get some repairs to their rides. Let's take a look here. The 14 right at Coop Reed. Oh yeah, just slideways down and out at core number 2. This is what we're going to see time and time again here at Iowa Speedway. This is normally the calling card to a caution flag out there, as one of these trucks just loses the rear end. Unfortunately, washed up the racetrack, kind of goes over that crease right there, and as soon as you kind of do that, just loses the handle of it, loses that grip level, and the rear end kicks out, goes around, and unfortunately does get up into the outside fence there and has it up against that outside wall. Luckily enough, looks like everyone able to avoid him there and keep themselves out of damage and more carnage out there on the racetrack, as it could have been a whole lot worse for a whole lot more drivers in a quick hurry if this 14 ride would have came back up the racetrack any sooner or any closer to the front of the field, as he goes around up into the wall right there. Luckily enough, no one coming in here and cleaning him out this afternoon. So pretty minimal damage there, but a little bit of rear end damage for that 14, and he'll look to get it repaired and jump back out there onto the racetrack. As now here comes the pit strategy. Here we do see Clinton Woodby head down pit side. Joshua Moore, he's down into his pit stall. He's going to try to get some repairs done. Looks like he's going to use that quick repair actually and get that truck completely fixed up, and want to roll back out there onto the racetrack. For Kevin Winker, looks like this truck is pretty fixed back up. It's pretty solidly repaired again, and slides back out there onto the speedway. Is getting ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go to battle here as Keith Prince running into some more issues here. It's the first time we've seen Keith roll out onto the racetrack, and unfortunately here for the number 3 truck, the Songs for Sound, Hear the Music, the American Sign Language machine rolling out there on the racetrack, but unfortunately now pinned against the inside fence. Keith is just kind of chilling right down low here. I'm not sure what's going on with that number 3 ride, but we'll have to keep an eye on him and see what he's doing here. Not sure what's wrong with Keith Prince, but unfortunately he is at the back of the pack. He has multiple laps down out there on the racetrack, and obviously having some more issues out there on the speedway. As we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. We'll get ready to go back to Green Flag Racing as our top 13 all have yet to come down pit side. Jason Septo was down pit road on lap number 5, getting some gas into that number 50 ride. Besides that, him and Bruce Bernard both haven't been down pit side. Now, we did just see from our 16th position all the way back to 23rd, they did come down pit road, got some fuel, got some tires, got their cars fixed up here and ready to rock and roll, ready to go back to battle here. As actually haven't seen Cooper Reed head down pit road yet. Not sure what Coop's been doing, even with that rear end damage and going around. He's keeping this 14 ride out there on the racetrack. He's yet to take it down pit side. He scored back in 23rd, and it shows me that he hasn't pit yet either. He's going to stick with it, even with those tires failing on him and him going for a little loop-de-loop out there on the racetrack to bring that last caution flag out. He is going to stick with it and stay out there on the speedway. It's Daniel Dow, Rusty Modesty, Nathan and Nixon, the 97 ride of Colton Hardy, and the 196 and the 15 of Michael Madden make up our first 3 rows here for this restart, our second restart of the day here at Iowa Speedway. Is my boy Eric Hardy coming in, showing the love, says, let's go Colton Hardy. Cheered on Colton here this afternoon, and Justin Johnson says, what's happening, brother? Brother, you know what's happening. Nothing but good, hard, amazing racing here on Peacemaker Gaming, as each and every one of these drivers are going to see that green flag fly here once again. Green flag back out into the air here this afternoon, as quickly it's that 2 machine of Daniel Dow. Dow looking to try to open up a lead here once again, looking to try to separate himself from his teammate Nathan Nixon. As Nixon again using that inside wing to slide up in front of Rusty Modesty, but Modesty this time making quick work of that 40 ride, quickly down to his inside, looking to jump back up into position number 2 as here comes Nick Gardner. Gardner, after having to take that pass-through penalty, got saved, did not go a lap down, but has raced his way back up through the traffic here, and he is now back inside the top 5 here this evening. Unfortunately, they're not the restart that Colton Hardy was hoping for, as he slides back a couple spots in that QH design winning big 97 ride, slides all the way back now into that 6th, 7th position as Caleb Kleiner right down to his inside. Here comes Mark Beverly, here comes Justin Rudden in that John Cena WWE 01 machine, as we did see right there a little contact as John Herbert washed up the racetrack. Looks like that 87 ride got very tight, and unfortunately he's going to lose a couple spots as there goes Kevin Winker, K-Dub down low. Cavs worked his way back up into 13th here, so he's trying to race his way up towards the front of the field. Got off to a rough start, got into the fence, but he's got that Muhlenberger Custom Homes Winker Nation, number 42, back up inside the top 15 and looking to rumble and try to race his way up inside the top 10 into the front of the field. As Daniel Dow hanging on to the race lead here so far this afternoon, he has been the reflection of perfection. This number 2 ride has been out in front for every single lap so far here this evening. After qualifying on the pole, he has been the driver to beat. Everyone has been chasing him down here this afternoon. As Nathan Nixon there, his teammate in position number 2. And now you see another one of his teammates, another sparkle and shine right there, ready to rumble and try to race his way up to the front of the field here. It's Michael Madden battling door-to-door with Rusty Modesty for position number 3. As Nicole Winker says, let's go Winker, hashtag Winker Nation, cheered on K-Dub here this evening as Brian Thorne says, cool, it is cool. It is always cool, brother. It's cool as heck up here in the broadcast booth. It's cool as heck out there on the racetrack. These drivers got ice in their veins as we continue to battle. We can continue to duke it out, as Jeff McJeffrey over there on Facebook says, yo, kicking the tires and lighting the fires, baby. Let's go, he says. Let's go indeed, Mr. Jeff, as we see the caution flag flies here once again. So caution flag back out onto the racetrack here now. I'm not sure what this yellow flag is for. It doesn't give me too much information, but it looks like potentially some issues for the 11 ride here of Poss. I don't know here. Poss looks like he's headed down pit road. Slow on the racetrack already, so competition caution flag. I didn't think we had yellow flags for stage breaks here in this series, but maybe I'm thinking of a different series. Maybe that was our stage break right there. Let me double check here. Where are we at? We're at Iowa. So yeah, stage break was lap number 40. So lap 40, our first stage coming to a close, and that means some extra bonus points being handed out here to the 2 rider Daniel down the 40 rider Nathan Nixon, who comes home in second. Modesty able to hang on to third as Michael Madden back there in fourth. Nick Garner up into fifth, and now it's Kevin Wanker. K-Dub, where in the world did he come from? I feel like 2 laps ago we were just watching Kevin and he was back in position number 6, and now all of a sudden here he is up into, we thought he was back in like 13th. Now he's up into 6th here on the racetrack. That's a heck of a leapfrog right there for the 42 ride, as every one of these drivers going to head back down pit side. You see Daniel Dow, Nathan Nixon, Rusty Modesty, all these drivers headed down pit side looking to get their cars repaired and looking to get back out onto the racetrack here and looking to duke it out here in this one. And now it's going to give an opportunity here for these drivers to potentially throw on those fresh tires. I do believe K-Dub threw those fresh tires on before everybody else there on that last caution flank and was able to use the fresh tires and everything else to race his way up inside the top 10 and snag some stage points here this evening. It's Eric Hardy. Eric coming in, becoming a brand new follower here on Peacemaker Gaming. Eric, I appreciate that, brother, coming in, not only hitting the like button, but also hitting that follow button. Becoming a brand new member here on Peacemaker Gaming, as Jeff McJeffrey also coming in, dropping that thumbs up over there on Facebook. Sean's Detail coming in with that like on the stream, as well as we'll get these drivers ready to go back to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out here again in this one, as Brett Winker says, let's go Winker, hashtag Winker Nation, and the horns up, baby, always horns up out there on the racetrack, as we did see virtually everyone come down pit side except for Clinton Woodby. Woodby stays out here. Now, he was down pit road on the previous caution flag there on lap number 31, and he's able to, use those fresh tires he had beforehand and keep himself out there on the racetrack. Now, he's going to be giving up a little bit of fuel mileage to everybody else, but the 92 will jump into the race lead. The 11 rider Dylan Poss on the same strategy, now into second, and same with Joshua Moore, who's now back up inside the top 3 here this evening. K-Dub Kevin Winker, who obviously took those tires there on the last caution flag, used those tires up, racing his way into some stage points here this evening, finds that Muleberger Custom Homes ride up into the 4th position here for this restart, as Rusty Modesty, Skylar Barry, Daniel Dow there in 7th, the 0-1 at Justin Rodden, the 40 ride of Nathan Nixon and Matt Hayden, rounding out our top 10 as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, man. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. We get ready to duke it out here once again this afternoon from the beautiful Iowa Speedway, as this is, let me get this right here, I don't want to get this wrong, it is the Corn 200 this afternoon. It's Corn 200 here this evening with the Metalheads Truck Series, and man, so far it's been a lot of fun. This has been a pretty interesting race. We've seen some good green flag runs. We've seen a few caution flags, a couple cars getting tore up in them, a couple of cars just having single spins out there, and we still have everybody still battling out there on the racetrack, and we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one, as Clinton would be our race leader down onto the throttle here at Iowa, down through the Geico restart zone. Does get a good jump, a good launch, and trying to clear that 11 right now. This is a bold choice choosing the outside lane, but he's able to use it to his advantage. Quickly clears that 11 to Dylan Boss and keeps him back there at bay. As the 92 out in front, now looking to try to use this clean air and everything else to try to run away with this one, but cautions, breeding cautions, as the yellow flag will come back out, as it looks like potentially Bruce Bernard and Coop Reed deeper in the field going to run into some issues here. Let's take a look back. You do see Bruce and Coop right here, as it looks like, not sure if the 14 just gets in there a little too hard. It looks like he does, just gets in there a little too deep, makes some contact there with the 17 truck, and then so they're both going to get sideways there on the racetrack. They're both going to end up going around, and that's what brings that caution flag out. Now, luckily enough, doesn't look like too much damage to either him or Bruce, as definitely not what you want to see. Definitely not what you want to be a part of. And for Bruce Bernard, he's just trying to hang on to this run as he gets that contact from behind, and now he's just trying to keep this thing pointed the right direction and out of the fences. Watch this. Here comes the contact right there to his back end. Just enough. Not a lot. Not a heavy hit, but just enough to knock him loose and send him down onto that apron, and that's where he goes around. Luckily enough, he does get it checked up and avoids either hitting pit wall or hitting that, the stanchions right there and the safer barrier going down onto that infield pit wall entry point there. As we'll get them all ready to rock and roll. We'll get them ready to go back to battle here once again. Another quick caution flag, another opportunity for drivers to get wound up and ready to go back to battle as my boy Kevin Winker from the driver's seat coming in with that heart reaction. K-Dub showing the love here in this one as well. He's smashing that heart reaction here on the broadcast. I appreciate that, K-Dub showing the love here this evening as here we go. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing again here this afternoon with the Metalheads Truck Series. We're going to be right back here after this quick little break, and I'm going to go a quick drink into me, and then we're going to get ready to see these drivers duke it out here for another 150 laps of racing action.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber birds on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast maker, friction sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous veins pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Whoa!
Alrighty, here we go. Getting ready to go back to Green Flag Racing here in this one. Drivers getting ready to be set loose once again. We'll see how far we can go without another caution flag is up and through the gears. The 92 of Clinton Woodby looking to try to keep this race lead. He gets a great shove right there from the 42 of Kevin Winker. Unfortunately, though, not the restart he was looking for, as here comes Dylan Poss down to the inside. Poss looking to try to take that race lead away from Clinton Woodby. Is Poss going to go for the pass out there on the racetrack and looking to steal this top spot, and now here comes Joshua Moore. Moore able to work himself back around Kevin Winker into position number 3, and now he is looking to try to put himself up and into the race lead. As the Muleburger Custom Homes 51 right even after the early contact up into the outside fence after him and Colton Hardy made a little contact right about here through corner number 3 and 4. He found that outside fence and got some pretty serious damage, but able to use that quick repair right now, race his way back up and through the field as he rolls there in position number 2 now as he rolls to the inside of that 11 right of Dylan Poss. We do see a couple other drivers having some issues deeper in the field as we do see the 14 of Coop Reed head down pit road. Tough break right here for Coop Reed. I do believe With all the caution flags and everything else that's been happening on the racetrack, he is technically going to become the first driver to go a lap down, is down low and making some moves right there. We're going to play this back, actually, in, down, and through corner number 1 and 2, because, man, all of a sudden, this 92 Ryan gets a little loose right here. Watch Clinton Wood, the R-Race leader, gets a little loose, comes down to the 11th Ryan. All of a sudden, we go 3 wide here at the front of the field. He gets shoved into the middle. Here comes K-Dub right down low there. 3 wide now for second as Dylan Boss makes the move and steals that race lead. Then a little contact between the 92 and that 51. He loses more momentum down the front straightaway. Opens up the door there for Daniel Down to jump up and get around him as he slides all the way back since that restart now into that 6th position. It's Joshua Moore battling now with Dylan Boss for the race lead, but here comes our pole sitter and our early race leader. That 2 right of Daniel Dow up and into position number 2, and he's looking to continue to have a great run and a great drive here this evening, looking to lead even more laps here this afternoon as he'll be looking to try to hunt down Joshua Moore in a quick hurry and kind of put himself to the front of the field. And some great racing action, some great battles out there on the racetrack. Each and every one of these drivers doing a fantastic job here this afternoon, man. These guys have been put on to a great race already, man. We've seen a few caution flags, but these caution flags just bring these drivers closer and right there against each other, right back on each other's bumpers. I'll be excited to be up there, ladies and gentlemen. The elbows up, the door-to-door, the 2 wide, 3 wide racing. If we were to see this go clean and green, we would virtually see it go single file and just see these guys make the world's longest, conveyor belt out there on the racetrack. But seeing a couple of those yellow flags, slicing and dicing, mixing it up out there on the racetrack, makes it a lot more interesting, makes it a lot more fun out there on the speedway. It's out front, it's Joshua Moore. The Muhleberger Custom Homes ride leads the way here in this one. Moore out in front, down there in second with his Sparkle and Shine teammate there, Michael Madden, right behind him in position number 3. Paul slides back to 4th is Nick Gardner there in 5th. John Herbert back there in 6th now is the Ridge Power Sports KR Gutters. HTK Eagles number 87 ride up into that 6th position with Nathan Nixon back there in 7th. Mark Beverly down to his inside with Clinton Woodby falling all the way back now into position number 9. And Skylar Berry trying to work himself not only around Kevin Winker but also the 92 of Woodby and trying to put himself up and into that 9th position. As for Kevin Winker, K-Dub unfortunately sliding all the way back now to just outside our top 10. Rusty Modesty, who we saw battling up there in position number 2 for most of this early part of the race, is now kind of stuck back here a little deeper in the field. He kind of went back here off that pitch strategy, and for the 6th run, he just hasn't been able to find that speed and rates his way back up to the front of the field here and sits right there in that 12th position. Caleb Viner there behind him in position number 13. Matt Hayden, Nate Cogdell, beautiful new looking paint scheme here for Nate out there on the racetrack. Thing is looking fresh as heck out there as the Big Red Customs paper cuts number 00 machine. That Sonic Graphic Designs ride ready out our top 15 on the racetrack. Ashley Ellison Jr. there in the Good Sam Napa Auto Parts in number 133. It's Ashley Ellison there in 16th with Justin Rodden back in the 17th spot. Joe Bennett there in that body armor 05 rolls there in 18th with Colton Hardy, who's unfortunately falling back now 16th position, started up in 3rd and now falling all the way back is the winning bid QH Designs number 79 there in 19th. Running out our top 20 on the racetrack is that Wendell Scott, number 50. Ryan is Jason Steptoe there in position number 20 with Paul Ferdinandi in the World Series of Poker. Number 44, Ryan there in 21st. Bruce Barnard there in position 22 as he's the last driver on the lead lap is Cooper Reed, who unfortunately had to make that green flag pit stop in that Geek Bar. Jules St. Speech Cop, number 14, Ryan falls all the way back into position number 23, and he's the only driver right now that is currently a lap down out there on the racetrack. He's going to be hoping to see a couple more caution flags as here we go. Battle at the front of the field. It's Joshua Moore looking to try to take this race lead away from Daniel Dow's looking to take the race lead away from Joshua Moore, and Daniel Dow is going to take that race lead away as Dow raced his way back up to the front of the field, finally caught up to that 51 and makes quick work of Moore and slides that Muhlenberger Custom Homes Toyota back into second as out in front once again Daniel Dow, our pole sitter there on the racetrack, and able to race his way right back to the front of the field here. Going to continue to lead some more laps, and looking to lead the most laps here this afternoon is Michael Madden, now trying to hold on to third here. It's Nick Gardner has worked his way up inside the top three. Is down low. He's going to complete that pass and slide just in front of Michael Madden. Now Madden's going to cross him over and try to get a good run down low. Is a beautiful crossover right there at that 15 right now. Going to drive the 27 up a little bit high down through corner number 1 and 2. Looking to try to keep that 27 right back there at bay. They both get a little bit squirrely as they almost touch down at corner number 2. Luckily enough, both drivers able to keep their cars pointing in the right direction, and they'll keep on trucking. They'll keep on duking it out here. And this one is another big run for the 27 ride as he rolls again to the outside there of Michael Madden, and this time it looks like he is going to make that pass, and he's going to go right on and around the 15 as Madden slides back into third. John Herbert there in 5th. Great run going here for that beautiful Ridge Power Sports KR Gutters number 87 ride as he's up inside the top 5 on the racetrack right now. Dylan Poss there in 6th with Nathan Nix and Mark Beverly, Skylar Berry, and Clinton Woodby rounding out our top 10. Kevin Winker, K-Dub hanging on back here for position number 11 with Caleb Kleinert, Nate Cogdell, Rusty Modesty there in 14th, Matt Hayden there in 15th. Ashley Ellison, Justin Rod, and Jason Steptoe, Paul Ferdinandi in the 05 of Joe Bennett rounding out our top 20. Colton Hardy, Bruce Bernard, and Coop Reed bringing up the rear of the field here this evening as everybody is trying to hunt down this Anything EC Sparkle and Shine Toyota. It is Daniel Dow at the front of the field, and he has been the reflection of perfection, man. He has been the car that everybody has been looking to beat here this evening, and I think it's going to be tough to beat him here today, man. It's going to make for a long race for a lot of these drivers trying to hunt down his back bumper, looking for another opportunity to try to get back around him, and it's going to have to come down to more than likely pit strategy out there on the speedway and trying to use that fuel mileage, try to use the fresh tires to your advantage, and see if you can try to leapfrog and steal this win away from Dow this afternoon. Is my boy Cody Horton. What's good, Cody? Cody Horton coming in, showing the love. Drop that like on the stream. What's good, Cody? How are you, brother? How you doing here this afternoon? Is each and every one of these drivers, man, putting together a heck of a run, heck of a drive here this afternoon, man. This has been a lot of fun. This has been absolutely insane, absolutely amazing racing action, and we're nowhere close to being done, ladies and gentlemen. There's still more to come. We may see some craziness here post-race this afternoon as you just never know. You never know what's going to happen, what's going to transpire late in these races, as one little caution flag could all of a sudden just create a chain reaction where things just get completely askew. The entire lineup kind of gets shuffled around, and we can see, drivers that are right now hanging out towards the back get up to the front. We can see it flip-flop the other way, and maybe see drivers that, haven't found victory lane yet this season finally find their way up and into the Iowa victory lane here this afternoon in the Metalhead Truck Series, as it's the Corn 200 here this evening, powered by, double check this here, it is powered and presented by, oh baby, I gotta take another look at this one, as it's tough to see this logo. Take a look right here. Okay, there it is. It is presented by Sonny's Donuts. Sonny's Donuts, ladies and gentlemen, our proud sponsor here this afternoon, as it's Corn 200 presented by Sonny's Donuts here at Iowa Speedway, man. What a run, what a drive, and what an amazing race so far we've seen here in this one. The laps continue to click down as we are closing in towards halfway here in this race, as each and every one of these drivers still trying to hunt down this 2-ride, and Daniel Dow starting to feel a little pressure here as Nick Gardner races his way back up inside the top 2 here, and he is closing in on the back bumper of our race leader, looking to potentially try to take this race lead away. variety, as you do see Nick Gardner right there looking to try to take this race lead away from Daniel Dow. They have started to separate themselves quite a bit here from our third place driver, as Joshua Moore has fallen back just a little over, a little over 1 in a quarter seconds, 1.2 seconds out there on the racetrack, is Moore back there in position number 3. Madden there in 4th. He's a little farther back as well. Now he's about 2.5 seconds or so behind our race leader, John Herbert, a little farther back as things start to separate here. Drivers start to get some good green flag laps in, and that's where we start to see things kind of get a little bit more spread out. Things get a little bit more single file, but we're going to really start to see those tires start to fall off, start to fade away. You're going to see a lot of slips and slides, and it doesn't take much for one of these cats to go around and bring out that caution flag once again and stack these drivers all back up here in this one. And Sean Arita says go more, as, oh baby, look out, we do see one driver up into the outside fence. It's Mark Beverly, and there's that caution flag. Caution flag out on the racetrack here, as Mark Beverly going to run into some trouble here as the push latte ride down through quarter number 1 and 2. Looks like maybe a little help right there, little nudge, a little contact between him and the 87 ride, and oh man, that's a heartbreaker right there for Mark Beverly. Was having such a good, strong run, and just that little bit of contact is all it takes to mess these cars up, to really unbalance them and knock them loose, especially down through these corners, and that's exactly what we see right there. And now he's trying to save it. He's trying to get this thing pointed back in the right direction. The car just overcorrects and turns right up into that outside fence. Heavy right front damage there for that 13 machine, and then he's going to wash back down the racetrack, and that's where we see the yellow flag come out. And it may have been a game changer and a race maker right there for Skylar Berry, as we did see Skylar Berry just a little bit before this have some issues on corner exit here himself. Watch the 46 ride here out of corner number 4 against very, very loose. Luckily enough, catches it, keeps it rolling here. Does go down and mow a little grass down in the infield, and luckily enough, though, not too much damage or any damage at all, and against that 46 ride still rolling. And luckily enough, right there you see that 13 truck down on the infield. That's where the caution flag comes out, so really no harm, no foul right there. And now an opportunity to get some tires onto that 46 machine, and same with everyone else, as we do see John Herbert. Herbert going to stay out there on the racetrack, not coming down pit side here. Maybe looking to see if he can try to lead a lap, get some extra points here this afternoon. K-Dub, Kevin Winker on that same strategy as tower operator. What's good, Bruce? Bruce coming in showing the love, says hashtag Winker Nation, and also says hashtag number 51 more. The Michigan Madman out there on the racetrack. Well, the Michigan Madman was looking pretty solid here throughout the day, and now looks like he's going to be the first driver out of pit lane and up into the 3rd position now on the speedway. So John Herbert, Kevin Winker, Joshua Moore, 1, 2, and 3 here on the racetrack. Caleb Kleiner there in 4th. Daniel Dow going from the race lead again, getting shuffled back a little farther here with the pit calls and pit strategy, as he'll get ready to restart from position number 5. Michael Madden, Nick Gardner, Ashley Ellison Jr., Clinton Woodby, and Skylar Berry rounding out our top 10 here this evening, as you do see John Herbert actually going to get he's going to elect to take an EOL right there. Good veteran move right there. Knew that he was the cause of that caution flag. Unfortunately, getting a little tight, washing up the racetrack there. We're making contact with the driver to his outside for Mark Beverly. Obviously doesn't help him at all, as he has got that damage and out deeper in the field himself. But for the 87, going to take one for everybody there and own up to potentially his mistake. It may have been a little bit of both, just good hard racing out there on the racetrack, but nonetheless doesn't want a penalty or anything else, and just elects to take the penalty out here this afternoon and takes the lashings and goes to the rear of the field here in this one. As Paul Ferdinandi coming back down pit side right there. Ferdinandi looking to get some fuel, potentially extra fuel, into this 44 truck, as he's looking to make sure that it's completely topped up here. He doesn't want to have an ounce of fuel not in that tank, as it could be the difference maker on his strategy to make it to the end here. A pit stop less than everybody else, and could potentially put him into a winning position here this evening. As we get them all stacked up, we get them racked up and ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you guys know what to do. Hit that like button, hit that share button, hit that follow and subscribe button, as we're going to get ready to go back to green flag racing. nice and easy. It's Kevin Winker, Joshua Moore, 1 and 2 on the racetrack, as we also did see the number. Who else stayed out right there? Oh, we saw the 87 of John Herbert, who stayed out there as well and then took that EOL. He did not come down pit road, still in that 87 machine, so he's going to be back a little deeper in the field. Now he moves up the racetrack and does the same thing again. Gets a piece of the 40 ride this time, and unfortunately puts Nathan Nixon up and into the fence. That will put us right back under the caution flag. Oh, man, heartbreaker here. 2 caution flags in a row, and I think John knew it instantly. As soon as it happened, that looks like he just loaded up that ride and took it right down to the infield here as, man, just gets a little tight right there, and just the car, you can see it travel up the racetrack and ends up just making that little bit of contact. That's all it takes. Doesn't take much, just a little tiny bit, and unfortunately gets a little straightened out, comes up the track right there, and gets into Nixon, and that's what happens when you're running just inches off of each other right there on the racetrack and trying to get everything you can. Unfortunately, the 40 ride goes sideways up the racetrack, up into the outside fence, and right across the nose there where Bruce Barnard is. Bernard getting some heavy front-end damage. Nixon getting damage on all 4 corners of that number 40 machine. And we do see John Herbert just take that truck right down to the infield here and get stopped there on the racetrack. He knew that another big mistake made out of that Ridge Power Sports KR Gutters ride, and that's just good hard racing. That's Iowa right there. That's normally how we see these caution flags flying, and that's normally how we end up seeing an abundance of yellow flags throughout a race here at the beautiful Iowa Speedway. As the caution flag back out here, it's Kevin Winker who continues to hang on to the race lead. Now K-Dub did get a good restart, only had to leave these guys for about a lap out there on the racetrack, but for him, it's going to be all about trying to continue to see some green flag laps here. He's got 40 lap older tires than everybody else. He's waiting and hoping that he can use this to his advantage later in this race, where maybe he's got that extra set in his back pocket where everyone else doesn't. So continue to get these yellow flags kind of cooling off, and everything else, everyone else's tires having these heat cycles kind of go through them from the green flag to the yellow flag. Could potentially balance it the tires a little bit more, where Kevin can hang on, maybe stay on the lead lap, and then have that extra set back there behind pit wall for way late in this race, and potentially use those to put himself up and into victory lane. We saw him there at the end of stage number 1, where he came down pit road about 9 laps before we went green flag racing again, and before we saw that checkered flag for stage number 1 on lap 40. He drove from the rear of the field right up into the 6th position in probably about 7 green flag laps, 6 green flag laps. So that's all you really need. If we see that caution flag come out with 10 or 15 laps left in this race, and he's got that extra set back there behind pit wall, it's going to be a tough break for everybody else, because he's just going to be picking them off and sliding right up through them. And now for everyone else out there on the racetrack, they got to be thinking in the back of their mind how much they want to try to save and see if they can try to get an extra set back there behind pit wall themselves. As the caution flags, they will be coming. They are for certain gonna be happening, and if you have the best tires out there on the racetrack, could be the best thing to be late in this race. As we'll get them all stacked up, we'll get them racked up and ready to try to go back to green flag racing, as K-Dub getting ready for this restart. The 42 at the front of the field, ready to set him loose, ready to go back to battle, ready to see if he can put himself up into victory lane here this afternoon. Alrighty, here we go. Get ready for the green flag out there on the speedway as Kevin Winker leading the way here. Daniel Dow, though, right down to his inside. Our pole sitter, who's led the most laps here this afternoon, has shown that he's got a ton of speed in that 2 machine. Going to be looking to try to jump back in front of the field and looking to see if he can continue just run away with this one, and quickly down through 1 and down to 2. He will take that race lead away from Kevin Winker, as Winker on the much older tires here. You know, he's going to have to be very, very careful as all these other drivers are going to be looking to slide right on around him, and that's exactly what's going to happen. But as they roll back up and in behind him here, they could be coming with a big hit of steam. It could be very easy for them to get into his rear end and spin that 42 truck around and bring up that caution flank here again this afternoon. So it's going to be very tough sledding here, and it's never a fun spot to be out there on the racetrack with the older equipment and just see these drivers with the fresh stuff just driving right on and around you here. You see that 51 machine of Joshua Moore. He's there with him as well. They both slide all the way back here just inside our top 10 still on the racetrack, but unfortunately the fresher tires just paying off here this afternoon as tires are going to be the name of the game all evening. As Daniel Dow out in front. Daniel picks up the race lead once again. Now, once again, looking to try to run away with this race as he tries to keep Nick Gardner and his teammate Michael Madden back there at bay. Clinton Wood being that Goldberg winning bid diecast in kart race number 92 car up and into position number 4 here. And for the first time this afternoon, we see Matt Hayden not only inside the top 10 but up inside the top 5 here as well. So good to see Hayden up here in the top 5 now in that racer number 5 ride as the Sonic Graphics Designs machine has been hanging out just outside the top 10 for most of this afternoon, but now trying to race his way up to a little bit of clean air. And Kevin Winker came up. He's been able to hang on here to the 6th position. Now this has been quite surprising as I thought he was going to continue just to slide backwards here. I thought he was going to continue to fall back farther and farther and farther behind all these other drivers, and now we'll have to wait and see how this pit strategy kind of plays out for him on the longer run of things, as seems like he's been able to hang tough and hold these other guys back there at bay. And I don't know if they got fresh tires or if they're still on older tires or what the issue is, but man, it's definitely working out into Kevin's favor right here as we did see Jason Steptoe running into some problems here in the 50 ride as the Wendell Scott number 50 machine deeper in the field here. Unfortunately, looks like he's going to get up and almost get into the fence here. Now he has to get checked up as the car washes down the racetrack. Unfortunately, Paul Ferdinandi right down low to his inside, makes some contact there with them, sends him down into the infield for a couple loop-de-loops, able to keep that car rolling, and we do see the yellow flag fly here. Now I'm not sure if it is for this 50 right slow on the front straightaway and down into corner number 1, but I do believe that's exactly where we will see that yellow flag fly and what it was for out there on the speedway. And potentially, man, tough breakup there for that 13 rider Mark Beverly here as well. As Beverly looks like he lost connection or something out there on the racetrack. Now I don't know if he's back out there or not. Does look, no it doesn't. So Beverly looks like he has disappeared off of the screen here and potentially losing connection this afternoon. He's just been blinking and now falling deeper through the field. I do believe just went potentially a lap down out there on the racetrack as well, as Beverly's disappeared. Nathan Nixon now a lap down as he had to get some heavy repairs done to that 22 ride. He's going to be looking to get some lucky dogs, some wave around, trying to get himself back onto the lead lap, as you do see Beverly still off of the racetrack here. Looks like he ran into some connection issues and now down and out of this race as of right now. As out in front, Daniel Dow going to get ready for another restart. As we'll take a look here, we did see, I do believe Kevin Winker did come down pit road. There he is rolling back out onto the racetrack. So K-Dub did finally head down pit side now on a little bit of a different sequence, a little bit of a different pitch strategy than a lot of these other drivers, and now that could hurt him or help him and maybe put him into the winning situation here this evening. We'll have to wait and see how it plays out here for the 42 at K-Dub, as Skylar Perry also down pit road. Paul Ferdinandi down pit side, and Jason Steptoe getting some repairs done to his 50 machine as him and Paul made contact. That's what brings out that yellow flag for Nathan Nixon. He's hoping for another caution flag or two here early on in this restart, as he wants to try to get that lap back, and getting a lucky dog and getting back onto the lead lap could be a major break there for that 40 machine. And for Mark Beverly, still down and off of the racetrack here this afternoon. And for Keith Prince, unfortunately there for Keith, missed the start of this race, as went multiple laps down and stuck back here in 24th, and he may be back here all evening long. Definitely not the spot that the American Sign Language number 3 ride wants to be at, as the Tiger Contracting machine back in 24. There's Daniel Dow out in front, though. We still see the lights turned on, the official iRacing pace truck. That means this time by we should see that one lap to go here this evening. So bear with us. We'll get ready to go back to green flag racing. We'll get ready to duke it out again this afternoon. And each of these drivers hoping to see it go a little bit more clean, a little bit more green out there, and not seeing that caution flag come back out here in this one as we inch closer and closer to that halfway marker here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We're about to hit halfway in and halfway to go here this evening as the restart should be with 99 laps left in this race. And 99 laps left, 99 problems, and this iRacing is not one of them, as this is a lot of fun. This is a good time. This is always a fun time up here on the broadcast, and seeing and watching these drivers duke it out and give it their all and wear their hearts on their sleeves, trying to put themselves up and into winning situations, or trying to pick up dubs, or even just trying to get a solid top 10, top 5 run out there on the Speedway, man. It's always very, very fun. Always put a smile on my face. Here we go, the two ride of Daniel Dow down through corner number 3, nice and easy out of corner number 4. We'll see that green flag fly. So the green flag back out into the air is down through the Geico restart zone. A great launch there for the two ride, but a very good launch to the outside for that 27 is Nick Gardner looking to try to hang right there with him, not wanting to see that two ride clear, but there it is. Daniel Dow powers down, but here comes a big run out at corner number 2 for that 27 machine as Nick Gardner going to take a look down to his inside. Let's see if he can get to that inside quarter panel here down the front straightaway and go door to door with that two ride. Unfortunately could not get there, as there it is, lap number 100 up and onto the board here. So this time around, as we see lap 100 come to a close, that will be our halfway marker. Is look out, the 05 ride getting very loose down the back straightaway here. Luckily enough, able to hang on to it, keep that truck going in the right direction as the Body Armor 05 machine all the way back here in that 13th spot. Just lost about 4 or 5 positions on the racetrack and continuing to slide backwards after going for a big wiggle down and out of corner number 2. As there we go. We are technically halfway through this race and halfway left to go here in this one as Daniel Dow, our halfway race leader, continuing to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay as Nick Gardner all over his back bumper. And we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker game and crank it up. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite drivers as we crank it up here this evening on Peacemaker Gaming. and girls, give it up to all these drivers. A beautiful crank it up session here this afternoon as they give us the sights and sounds around the beautiful Iowa Speedway. We edge closer and closer to about 70 laps left to go here in this race, as this is our longest green flag run of the afternoon, the longest green flag here of the evening. Some great racing action. Drivers continue to battle out there on the racetrack, looking to try to navigate their way to the front of the field as Gardner out in front in this race. Daniel down back there in second with Matt Hayden, and Clinton would be our top four out there on the racetrack. Rusty Modesty there in fifth with Michael Madden back in sixth. Colton Hardy there in seventh. Justin Rodden, Dylan Poss, and Skylar Berry rounding out our top 10. Nate Cogdell back there in 11th. He's up 9 spots. Joe Bennett also up 9 positions. He's back there in 12th as he's got Caleb Kleiner right there behind him. Ashley Ellison Jr. back there in position number 14 with John Herbert rounding out our top 15 here on the racetrack. Joshua Moore and Kevin Winker came up back in 17th with Jason Steptoe there in the 18th spot. Got Coop Reed there in position number 19. Now Coop's trying to keep himself on the lead lap right here as our race leader right there on his back bumper. Unfortunately, he's going to watch up the racetrack, move down and out of the way here, but looking very loose there with that 14th truck. Able to keep that car, though, pointed in the right direction. Keeps on rolling, but does fall a lap down right now in that free pass position, but it may not be for long as Jason Steptoe, the next victim, to potentially go a lap down here this evening. As Paul Ferdinandi in the 44 finds himself a lap down, same with Nathan Nixon there in the 40 run. Bruce Bernard also a lap down there in the 17, back in 22nd. Mark Beverly, unfortunately, looks like he's been trying to get back out onto the racetrack here, but for Mark, he's been kind of blinking out there on the racetrack there and still having some connection issues here this afternoon, and that's what took him out of this race for quite a little while, and now we see him disappear again out there on the speedway, so we'll have to keep an eye, and hopefully that doesn't play a factor into this race. That could easily mess up somebody's race and turn them around and potentially put them into a tough situation, as we are now virtually, we saw that caution flag come out, we saw drivers down pit road around lap number 95 or so, so we're inching towards 30 lap run, closer to 40 lap run here of green flag racing, and now we really start to get into the question of how far can these trucks go before they come down pit side, before they have to make those green flag pit stops. His tire fall off, he's a little over a second already here in this run, so drivers are losing pace, they're falling farther and farther behind, and they're unfortunately slipping and sliding around out there on the racetrack, but making that green flag pit stop is a treacherous game to play, as you can easily go a lap down out there on the speedway, but as we talk about it, here they come. Matt Hayden, Rusty Modesty, the first two to make the call to head down pit road here, so they're going to slide down pit side. They're looking to use these fresh tires to their advantage. Now, is that going to bring everybody else, or are we going to see other drivers try to play the opposite side of the strategy? Maybe try to play a little bit longer, try to race even more laps where these guys will jump out there. They'll have the fastest trucks. They'll maybe be able to leapfrog some of these guys with the fresh tires, but as that race continues to go on, their tires going to continue to get worse and worse and worse, but look out, they may be in a big world of hurt, as we did see that 14 ride shoot down the racetrack right there, and heavy contact here for that Greek bar number 14 ride. We'll see if he slides out onto the racetrack. If he does, that caution flag may come out as he just loses it in here behind our race leader. He's got the fresh tires. He was down pit road already himself there just a couple laps to go. Unfortunately, does get loose again. Slides in, makes heavy contact there with that inside fence, and luckily enough, no caution flag, and he is going to take that car right down pit side. So a heartbreaker there for Coop Reed, who had already went a lap down, had made that green flag pit stop, was down a couple laps, and now going to be down even farther as he's back in position number 23 on the speedway. As out in front, it is Nick Gardner. Gardner continuing to lead the way here as we inch closer and closer to lap 140 out there on the speedway, and we get closer to that only like 60 laps left of this race, ladies and gentlemen, and as these guys continue to lay down laps and seeing how far they went here with green flag laps and how far they went before, the last time they came down pit side. They were down pit road here for our race leaders on lap number 80 was the last time Nick Gardner, Clinton Woodby, Daniel Dow, Michael Manlove, these guys came down pit side. So that was quite a while ago, and obviously we saw some caution flags and a couple, a lot of laps under yellow there where they were able to save and just kind of cruise control around it and try to not burn up very much fuel out there on the racetrack. And luckily enough for them, that helps them, but we're getting closer and closer. It's been 60 laps. They've probably gotten about 50 laps of green flag laps on their tires. So I think a lot of these drivers are hoping that they can make it through around lap 45-ish or so of green flag laps, maybe lap, a little farther here actually. Yeah, they're hoping to try to get to like 55, maybe 60 laps of this run under the green flag, and probably trying to get to around lap 150 before coming down pit side, as we do see a few more drivers head down pit road. Here comes Caleb Kleiner. Kleiner in that middle heads. Jenks Ryan is going to make the hard left-hand turn. He'll head down pit side. We also saw Paul Ferdinandi come down pit road as well in that World Series of Poker 44 machine. Unfortunately for Paul, he was already a lap down and still moving the field here in this one, but hoping to see if he can use those tires to his advantage as Nick Gardner continues to lead the way. Nick out in front now by almost 5 seconds. Almost a 5-second gap between himself and Clinton Woodby, as Woodby there in position number 2. Daniel Dow is slid back all the way into position number 3. Michael Madden, Justin Rodden, our top 5 out there on the racetrack with Colton Hardy, Dylan Poss, Nate Cogdell, Skylar Berry, and Joe Bennett rounding out our top 10 here on the racetrack. Joshua Moore back there in 11th with John Herbert, Kevin Winker there in 13th, Jason Steptoe there in 14th, Matt Eden. He is now scored as a lap down, but does have some of the freshest tires out there on the racetrack between him and Rusty Modesty here as they're trying to race their way back towards the lead lap and hoping to see things cycle through and see everyone else have to make this green flag pit stop. But right now they're in a very trying hand, as you see the 133 ride coming down pit road, but the caution flag does come out. The yellow flag does fly, and this is a heartbreaker here for Caleb Kleiner, for Rusty Modesty, for Matt Hayden, as they're all going to be trapped a lap down out there on the racetrack, and now their pit strategy is not going to help them very much, as they may get lucky with a wave around in a lucky dog and get back onto the lead lap, but now they're going to have the older tires, and they're still not going to have the track position, where if this would have stayed green and saw everyone come down pit road, they may have been able to leapfrog everybody. They may have been out in front of the field and leading this race, but now they're going to be deeper in the field. They're going to have older tires. This is definitely not the spot that they wanted to be in, as we'll take a look back and see what happens. It looks like another driver on the newer tires just trying to build up that tire pressure. Unfortunately, these things have become a little bit more of an animal out there on the older tires. And for Paul Ferdinandi, he's going to run into almost the same problem as we saw Cooper have. It's just out of the corner here. He's showing all that speed and everything else. Just loses that rear end, though, and just steps out and around on him. He locks her down. Unfortunately, slides down and into the infield. The flag man getting a great look at that and quickly throws that caution flag, as the yellow flag does get presented once again this afternoon. That will mix things up here, as we're going to see Nick Gardner and Clinton Woodby, Daniel Dow, all of our drivers that were still on the lead lap head down pit side, including Kevin Winker there in that 42 ride. Nate Cogdell down pit side, as well as the number 17 and a few of these other drivers down pit side here, and Jason Steptoe down there as well. Steptoe, I do believe, was still on the lead lap just by a little bit. For Matt Hayden, now looking for the wave around, trying to get back onto the lead lap, or at least the lucky dog to get back into it here. Same with Rusty Modesty, Nathan Nixon, Caleb Kleinert, Mark Beverly, Ashley Ellison Jr., Bruce Bernard, all these drivers looking for the wave around or the lucky dogs and trying to work themselves back onto the lead lap here this evening. That's definitely going to throw a wrench into their plans, as they're going to have about, I'm going to say, 8 laps or so older tires compared to everybody else here who just came down pit side, as they ran virtually, I'm going to say, about 30. And they ran probably about, where we see this caution flag come out at 143, 144, somewhere in that area. So really, they put on 7, 8 laps of green flag racing onto their tires. That could be a quite a bit. That could be a couple tenths out there on the racetrack, and now losing that track position and being at the rear of the field and having those older tires definitely not going to help you out at all here this evening. We'll see if they can try to battle back late through this race and battle through that adversity and try to get themselves back up towards the front of the field here today. Yo, Matthew Moore. Matthew coming in, showing the love with that like on the stream. How are you, Mr. Moore? Matthew coming in, dropping that thumbs up here on the stream. And my boy Denver Henderson. What's good, Denver? Denver coming in as well, dropping that thumbs up here on the broadcast, showing the love this evening as each and every one of these drivers getting ready to go back to green flag racing, as that definitely threw a wrench into a lot of the game plans here for these drivers. And we're going to see this race go back to green flag here. About 50 laps left to go in this race. 150 will come up onto the board. We'll virtually have 51 laps of this race left, and that means 3/4 of the way through it and quarter of this race left to go. And the craziness is over yet, and we may still see a few more caution flags. We may see a bunch of different lead changes and different pit strategies here, and drivers trying to put themselves up and into the winner's circle here this evening, as Nick Garner, Clinton Woodby, 1 and 2 on the Speedway. Michael Madden back there in third with Justin Rodden there in fourth. 11 and Dylan Poss rounding out our top 5. Then we see Colton Hardy, Nate Cogdell, the 46 of Skylar Barrett, the 87 of John Herbert, number 51 of Joshua Moore rounding out our top 10 with Kevin Winker, Joe Bennett, and Daniel Dow back there in that 13th spot on the Speedway. As Jason Steptoe, Matt Hayden, Rusty Modesty, Nathan Nixon. Actually, no, looks like that's going to be the last driver on the lead lap here for Rusty Modesty now for Nathan Nixon. He's the first car 1 lap down. He's looking for that wave around, looking for that free pass. He's trying to get back onto the lead lap here. So is in Caleb Kleiner, though, as Kleiner trying to hunt down that 40 ride for that lucky dunk here this evening. Mark Beverly also trying to race his way back into the action here this evening. Ashley Ellison Jr. down the lap, and same with Bruce Bernard out there on the racetrack. Paul Ferdinand still down and coming back down pit road here during the green flag for the 44 ride, and unfortunately the spot you want to be here as we go back to battle. It's out in front. Nick Gardner able to hang on to this race lead, starting to open up a bit of a gap once again between himself and Michael Madden, as we do see that caution flag come back out here in this one. Caution flag back out onto the racetrack. It looks like John Herbert going to run into some problems here. Matt Hayden, Nathan Nixon, Daniel Dow all may have gone tied up here in this one. Let's take a look back and see what happens as the 87 ride here, kind of in the middle of the speedway. Oh, looks like 0-1 starting to lose that rear end right there. Justin Rodden getting very, very loose up here on the outside lane. That really just sketches out the 87 ride. I don't think there was any contact there, but as he checks up, trying to avoid that 0-1 machine, the 2 ride of Daniel Down does not realize that he's checking up. That watch gets into the back end of him, spins the 87 ride around, spins himself around. Then you see the 40 ride just trying to get through there, and unfortunately just cannot find a hole, ends up getting into the 2 ride as the 2 slams down into the infield wall right here. Heavy hit for the Sparkle and Shine ride, and heavy hit for Matt Hayden as well, as Hayden just comes down the track and absolutely kills this 40 machine. Let's take a look at it here, as all of a sudden here comes that 40 ride around, and he drives right underneath him and makes some heavy contact, not once but twice there with the Sparkle and Shine 40 ride. Good damage there to the 87 ride and John Herbert, as well as that's going to put us right back under the caution flag, as cautions breeding cautions here at Iowa Speedway. And we'll get ready. We're going to go back to battle. We'll get ready to duke it out here once again and see another great restart here from the beautiful Iowa Speedway this afternoon, as it's Corn 200 presented by Sonny's Donuts here this afternoon. As out in front, it is the 27 of Nick Garner holding down the fort, looking to try to pick up its Corn 200 presented by Sonny's Donuts. Checkered flag here this afternoon. Everyone else, though, back behind the 27 ride, looking to knock him out of that top spot, looking to try to steal this win away from him here this evening. As we'll be right back here, as we're going to get a quick break in, get a quick drink, and get ready to go back to green flag racing.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber birds on black, engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast Sparks make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war sounds, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead, chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Rivals on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skins twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straight we fly. Nitrous veins pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game's flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead, chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah!
Alrighty, here we go, back to green flag racing. A great restart right there for the 27 right of Nick Gardner, as Gardner quickly back onto the lap pedal, able to clear that 15 of Michael Madden, and now trying to open up that race lead once again. As Gardner looking to try to run away with it, here comes Dylan Boss up to the outside, looking to try to take position number 3, away from the 92 of Clinton Woodby. Woodby trying to hang on to it as here comes that 97 of Colton Hardy. Nate Condell right there in position number 6. Here comes Joshua Moore, Justin Rodden, another one of those Muhlenberger Custom Homes ride. It's the 42 ride of Kevin Winker, came up right there inside the top 10, and he will continue to race his way back up to the front of the pack here. This evening is the 0-1 of Justin Rodden. The 6 ride right there in the middle, 3 wide here at Iowa, 3 wide racing. As look out at Skylar Berry up on the high side, making a big move, making a couple passes there as he'll now put that 6 of Rusty Odyssey, the 0-5 of Joe Bennett back there behind him, and now here comes Matt Hayden after getting tied up in that wreck. He's got that car repaired and looking to try to race his way back up into the top 10 here this evening as he's back into that 13th position. Jason Steptoe right there behind him as here comes John Herbert, the 2 rider Daniel Dow stuck back there a little deeper in the field in that 16th position. Unfortunately here for Daniel, he's continuing to just fall farther and farther behind. As Mark Beverly right there as well, still a lap down, same with Ashley Ellison Jr. Now the first driver, last driver on the lead lap right here in for the number 133 of Ashley Ellison Jr. Getting that caution flag again would really help out this 133 machine and get him back onto the lead lap here this evening. So hoping to see another caution flag here and another opportunity to get the wave around the lucky dog and getting himself back in action here this evening on the lead lap. As out in front, continuing to lead this race. It is that 27 of Nick Gardner, but Gardner feeling the pressure as here comes Michael Madden down to his inside. Madden looking for the race lead, and he will quickly take that top spot away from our race leader, Nick Gardner. Gardner slides back into second as Michael Madden going to be a new race leader here in Iowa as it's Corn 200 presented by Sunny's Donuts here this evening. Has been putting on a heck of a show for us, right from the drop of the green flag and right down to this point, and probably right down to the checkered flag. Is going to be non-stop insane racing action here this evening as Michael Madden out in front. Now starting to try to open up a couple car lengths here between himself and Gardner as Gardner sits there in second. We see Colton Hardy in position number 3 here. Hardy has been blinking, been having some connection issues there in that winning bid. QH Designs number 97 ride as he rolls there in third. Clinton Woodby back in fourth. Dylan Moss there in fifth as Joshua Moore and Kevin Winker sit 6th and 7th out there on the racetrack. Nate Condell there in 8th as the 46th. Skylar Berry back in 9th, and Matt Hayden back inside the top 10 here as he takes that 10th position away from Justin Rodden. Rodden slides back into 11th as Modesty there in 12th. Joe Bennett, Caleb Kleinert, John Herbert, Jason Steptoe, and Daniel Dow rounding out our lead lap cats here this evening. Ashley Ellison Jr., Mark Beverly, Nathan Nixon, all one lap down back there in position number 18, 19, and 20 for Paul Ferdinandi. He's a couple laps down, scored back in 21st. Bruce Bernard also a few laps down there in 22nd. Cooper Reed, unfortunately, multiple laps down here in that number 14 ride. Sits back in the 23rd position and really no area to try to get some extra wave rounds or any lucky dogs here to try to race his way back into the action, as we do see Nate Cogdell run into some problems here. Heavy damage to that 00 machine as Nate Cogdell, heavy smoke rolling out of that car. He's slowed down low on the bottom side of the racetrack as there goes our race leaders, and there is the caution flag. So caution flag out on the racetrack here for Nate Cogdell. It's Cogdell. Looks like he's just going to lose it here, potentially out of corner number 4. That's exactly what happens. Loses the handle. Trying to catch it, then goes down onto the apron and into the grass here. I'm not sure if his wheel turned off or what might have happened right there to that 00 ride, but all of a sudden, the car just takes off into the infield here. I'm not sure what was going on here with the Big Red Customs. Sonic Graphic Designs ride is slowed down the front straightaway and then just cuts down through the infield here. The car just pulls down into that wall, makes heavy damage into the fence, and seems like it takes him a couple seconds here to finally get this car rolling again out there on the racetrack. No caution flag there as of yet, and then finally the car starts rolling, does roll back out onto the racetrack, and that's where we see that caution flag fly for that 00 machine. And tough break for him, heavy damage. He's going to be looking to try to get this car repaired as quickly as possible, and he also went a lap down there with that move, and unfortunately going a lap down still, now trying to battle his way back into it. Hopefully has that quick repair in his back pocket, as we do see a bunch of drivers head down pit road here. We're trying to make a bit of a swing at things here, trying to mix up some of the pit strategy here as Colton Hardy down pit road. You do see Clinton Woodby, Matt Hayden, Justin Rodden down pit side. You see Rusty Modesty down there, as well as Caleb Kleiner, John Herbert. Here comes Daniel Dow, and that 42 rider Kevin Winker, K-Dub also down on pit road here. So some different pit strategies for a lot of these drivers, and we get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. As out in front is Michael Madden, who has the race lead and looking to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay. Nick Gardner, Dylan Poss, Joshua Moore, Skylar Berry going to look to try to knock him out of that top spot and looking to try to put themselves up and into victory lane here today. As Madden knows that it's late in this race, and there's always the possibility for more and more caution flags. And if we do see some more caution flags, you know, what does that build for intensity here? I feel like each and every one of these drivers right now, their heart rates are probably sitting at 100, maybe 120, who knows? Maybe they got high blood pressure and we've seen them sitting at 140 or something, almost having a heart attack here as their hearts start pumping, they start sweating. It's been a long race, there's been a lot of action, and now each and every one of these caution flags, just you continually to have these thoughts rolling through your mind on what could happen, what do you need to do if something does happen. You know, you're working on the calculator, trying to make sure you can make it on fuel, or trying to figure out when's the best time to maybe come down pit road, get that last set of tires. Every one of these questions is going through each and every one of these drivers' minds right now, and especially if you're our race leader, Michael Madden, and you're thinking back through the field and who can catch you, who can beat you, who's going to have the fresher tires, and who's trying to, you know, play that strategy game here this evening to maybe steal this win away from them. If you're the 27 rider, you're thinking, what do I need to do to take this race lead back away? How do I get back out to that 5-second lead before we saw that caution flag back around lap number 142, 143 there when that yellow flag came out and evaporated his 5-second gap between first and second. So we'll have to wait and see how this all plays out, where these drivers are able to put themselves and who's going to be able to put themselves up and into victory lane here this afternoon as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. As they complete this lap, it will be 30 laps left to go. So lap 170 is going to be put to rest here this afternoon, meaning we got 30 laps of racing action left here this evening. the It's Corn 200 presented by Sonny's Donuts. Here in the Metalheads Truck Series, as each and every one of these drivers looking to try to find victory lanes. I do believe this is the sixth race of the season already, and still a lot of racing left to go. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, but you want to try to get as many ups as you can and try to work yourself into the playoffs here and try to pick up a big win or get a good point stay at the Speedway. It can always help you out a ton. As here we go, back to Green Flag Racing is a great restart right there for that 15 machine, as Michael Mann will lead us nice and easy down through quarter number 1 and out of 2 down the back straightaway, looking to continue to try to open up that lead as everybody two by two back there throughout the field. Everyone trying to figure out their way back up to the front of the pack. Other drivers trying to hope to see another caution flag and hoping to see themselves work their way back onto the lead lap by either getting the lucky dogs or maybe some waiver rounds if they're on the Speedway. But right now, for drivers still a lap down deeper in the pack, like Mark Beverly, Nathan Nix, and I do believe Ashley Ellison Jr. did get that lucky dunk the last lap around in the 133. It's back on the lead laps away. Great break there for that 133 machine. You also see that 00 right on Nate Cogdell. Cogdell now finds himself at least a lap behind here now this afternoon, as well as the 00 did bring out that last caution flag. Having damage there for him, but luckily enough was able to get the quick repair and get that car pictured and perfect out there on the racetrack, as it has been completely rebuilt by his pit crew, and here he is back into the battle, continue to roll back there in the 20th position, just hoping to see maybe a few more caution flags and a couple more opportunities for him to try to get the lucky dog himself and get back into the battle this afternoon. It's Madden out in front, continue to lead the way, about 2 car lengths separate him and Nick Gardner. Gardner's going to get right back in for your bumper. Here comes Dylan Poss. Poss there in position number 3. Matt Hayden back there in 4th. And then we see Colton Hardy a little bit of 4 wide here at Iowa Speedway. It's 4 wide racing. It's Mr. Joshua Moore up on the top shelf. The 97 rider Colton Hardy was there in the middle with the 6 of Rusty Modesty and the 92 of Clinton Woodby there, man. That is some great racing action. It's always fun when you get to see these drivers go 3 wide here at a speedway like Iowa Speedway, but seeing them go 4 wide, man, oh man, oh man, that definitely gets the juices flowing. That definitely gets the heart racing, as we do see each one of these drivers in the battle out there on the racetrack. As we see Matt Hayden has raced his way now up and into position number 2. Looks like Hayden had put on an extra set of tires here late in this race, back on that last caution lap, and he is running very, very quick lap times here. He is flying through the field and now up into second and quickly looking to the outside of our race leader, Michael Madden, trying to hang on to this top position. Unfortunately, he's got nothing for those fresh tires, as Matt Hayden is going to roll right on around him on the high side and steals this race lead away. Now, this could be the race winning move. That could have been the pass for the race win here this evening, as we could see this go caution free right down to the checkered flag. The drivers back behind him have those older tires, but right now he's got the fresh tires and he's a man on a mission. Look out, Nick Gardner getting very squirrely there down the back straightaway. Unfortunately, going to lose a few spots there on the speedways. Here comes Colton Hardy. Here comes Rusty Modesty. Clinton would be right there, as well as Kevin Winker. There's a lot of these drivers that just came down pit road, that just put fresh tires onto their race trucks, eating away at all these other drivers that stayed out, all these other drivers that did not come down pit road, did not throw an extra set of tires onto their trucks. They continue to slide farther and farther behind, as you do see the 27 ride trying to throw some blocks there on poor old K-Dub. Kevin Winker trying to figure out his way around this 27 ride. Hasn't been able to find the run to jump up into position number 6 on the racetrack, but now door there with that 27 ride, as Michael Madden now starting to slide a little farther back here himself on those older tires. As Matt Hayden in front trying to open up a race lead, as he's got about 5-6 car lengths now between himself and the 97 of Colton Hardy. Is Hardy right there in position number 2. Modesty up and into 3rd, as Clinton would be now into position number 4 as he rolls around Michael Madden. And now here comes K-Dub, Kevin Winker right into the picture. We do see Caleb Kleiner. He also came down Fair Road there on lap 167. He's raced his way back up into 8th, and Justin Rodden back there in 10th. John Herbert also came down pit road there during that last yellow. Same with Daniel Dow, who's back in 14th. We'll see if Dow can find that speed that he had early in this race. I don't know what happened here midway through this race. They seem like that new car just kind of shut off if they're on the racetrack. It just kind of all of a sudden lost a step out there on the speedway. Maybe down the cylinder, maybe something going wrong in his stride. Here for that Sparkle would try anything we see number 2 here this evening. He's back in that 14th position as out in front. It's Matt Hayden who leads this race. Hayden finally finding his way to the front of the field and now trying to run away and put himself into victory lane here this evening as Colton Hardy trying to chase him down. Same with Rusty Modesty, Clinton Woodby, and now Kevin Winker are top 5 here. It's having to slide all the way back to 6. Kleiner now into 7th. There's Nick Gardner there back in the 8th position now and has nothing but fast cars, all French tires sitting around him right now. Him and Michael Madden just getting consumed here by those French tires out there on the racetrack. Same with Dylan Bosses. He slid all the way back now to just outside our top 10. He battles now with John Herbert there for that 10th position, trying to keep himself inside the top 10, but I don't know how long he's going to be able to hang on. Has much older tires compared to these drivers that are around him and are now in front of him out there on the racetrack. And Hayden continuing to lead the way. Hayden out in front over Hardy. Is Hardy there in that QH Designs winning bid at 97. Ryan sits in position number 2. Rusty Modesty there in third. It's some great racing, man. Iowa's put on a heck of a show for us. Now, we've seen quite a few caution flags. We've seen a lot of spins and issues for drivers, but nonetheless, it's bound these drivers back up. It's put them on these restarts in the door-to-door action, and we've seen some craziness there on these restarts, and a few tore up race cars, a few messed up races for a few of these drivers, but nonetheless, it's been a lot of fun to watch these guys continue to battle, continue to get up on top of the wheel and try to give it everything they can, and now seeing the tire strategies and everything else start to come into play. Definitely making this a very exciting race right down to the end as if we see that late race caution flag for all those drivers that came down pit road on lap 167. Potentially, they don't have another set down pit wall. For those drivers that stayed out on the racetrack, like Michael Madden, like the 27 of Nick Gardner, Dylan Haas, and some of these other cats like Joshua Moore, Joe Bennett back there. Maybe they still got an extra set back behind pit wall. Maybe they can come down pit road on the next yellow flag and put them onto their trucks and just drive their way up and through the field and back to the front of the pack. Here this evening, we'll have to wait and see how it plays out as they may not get a caution flag. They may not see another yellow here this evening as we inch closer and closer to our checkered flag. It's down across the line. Only 12 more laps left to go here in this one. 12 more laps for Matt Hayden as Hayden has a very solid lead now between himself and our second place driver, that number 97 of Colton Hardy. Is Hardy just trying to hang on to it as Clinton Woodby, Rusty Modesty right there behind him. Kevin Winker is a couple car lengths back there, but still hanging on solidly inside our top 5, but he's got Caleb Kleiner quickly trying to catch up and hunt down that Muhlenberger Custom Homes number 42 machine. But out in front, Matt Hayden, he's got over a second lead, and he's loving to see this right here. Door-to-door action for position number 2 on the racetrack. That's going to slow them down even more. Allow that number 5 ride to try to stretch out the race lead and continue to try to pull away here in this one. As Clinton Woodby, Colton Hardy, door-to-door out there on the racetrack. Now here comes Rusty Modesty trying to poke his nose into this battle as well, as I'm sure he'd love to try to jump up and leapfrog both of them and steal that second place finish away from both the 92 and 97 as they continue to battle door-to-door there in that second spot. Hayden's loving every single second up as he sees now stretch that race lead out even more and continuing to drive farther and farther away from the rest of these cats as Woodby finally slides up, clears the 97, but quick crossover right there for Colton Hardy. Hardy back down to the inside here. Unfortunately, we'll stay door-to-door. We'll see if the 92 can get a big run here out of corner number 2 and just keep that 97 right back there at bay, and that's exactly what he does. So Woodby up and into that second spot on the racetrack here as Hayden out in front finally sees that 92 clear that 97 to Colton Hardy, and now he knows that it's Woodby who's going to try to hunt him down and try to steal this win away from him. As Megan White says, let's go Woodby, you got this, cheering on that 92 machine out there as Woodby in that beautiful Goldberg winning bid. Die-casted car breaks number 92 ride up and into that second spot, looking to try to race his way up and into victory lane, but he's got to close this gap over a second here between himself and Matt Hayden. As Hayden, nice and easy, back down across the start finish line. They're going to click off another lap as we only get 7 more to go here. And this late race caution flag, we talked about it being a potential issue out there, and potentially not even seeing a late race yellow flag here. And for drivers like Michael Madden going from our race leader on that last restart now all the way back into that 10th position. Dylan Poss back there, as well as Nick Gardner in that 27. Ryan there score back in 8th. 10th, 11th on the racetrack. You see Joshua Moore back there in 12th. Joe Bennett. And for these drivers, if they've got an extra set of tires back down behind pit wall, they're going to be kicking themselves in the butt by not putting themselves into potentially a winning situation, a winning drive here late in this race. As Hayden down across the line will click off another lap, and we see 5 more laps left to go here. 5 more laps of racing action here from the beautiful Iowa Speedway. Another great green flag run here late in this race, and with 5 laps left to go, man, it's going to be butterfly time here for Matt Hayden, as he knows that this racer, beautiful number 5 ride, is out in front. He's leading this race. He's got a sizable gap between himself and Clinton Woodby. Finding a serious couple mistakes out of this 5 ride. Woodby, I don't know if he's going to be able to catch him. He's not going to have enough time to hunt him down out there on the speedway. So really the only thing that can really hurt Matt Hayden is Matt Hayden or a caution flag here this afternoon. From keeping him out of victory lane, that is going to be the challenge, is not making a mistake out there, not allowing that 92 Clinton Woodby to hunt you down, and now start running some lap traffic. That's the problem area that you're going to run into as the race leader late in these races, just trying to navigate that traffic, but now does have that truck between himself and Clinton Woodby. Still 0.8 of a second down the back straightaway between first and second, and each and every one of these laps getting closer and closer to seeing that white flag, meaning 1 more lap left to go. The race will not see a caution flag if we see that white flag. With only 2 more laps left in this race, Matt Hayden, the only thing that he's thinking of right now is seeing that white flag fly. He knows there's a big gap in there. It is! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, half a lap away from seeing that white flag fly. Half away from potentially just being on cruise control and putting himself up and into victory lane here this evening for Matt Hayden. We see a late race caution flag. We're headed to NASCAR overtime here this evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You came here for a show. Well, here you go. As we're going to get these drivers stacked up, racked up, ready to go back to green flag racing, as Coop Reed, late in this race, running into another problem if they're on the racetrack. Let's take a look here at this key car. Number 14 riding down through the middle and just trying to get back onto the throttle. Unfortunately, just steps on it right there and spins that truck around, and as he gets stuck there on the racetrack, caution flag going to come out 100% of the time there. And unfortunately, for our race leader and a lot of these other drivers, that is not the caution flag that they wanted to see. Is now we're going to see drivers think about what they need to do coming down pit road here. Doesn't look like there's a whole lot of takers, but we do see Joshua Moore head down pit side, so Moore going to be one of those first drivers on the lead lap to come back down pit lane. Ashley Ellison Jr., Joe Bennett, Jason Steptoe all on the lead lap down on pit road here, so it's going to be interesting, man. 2-lap shootout. We could see the potential of multiple restarts here and multiple opportunities for drivers to, get these restarts and to see, I do believe it's 3. Let me double check here. Let me double check this one. Yes, if you look at the top left, I don't know if you guys can see it with the logo there, but it is 1 of 3 for green, white, checkered. So that means we will have 3 attempts here in this one. 3 attempts at green, white, checkers here this afternoon. And for Matt Hayden, definitely not what he wanted to see. Did not want to see that caution flag. He knew he was about a lap and a half away from seeing the checkered flag, half a lap away from seeing that white flag, and after we take the white flag, we will not see another flag fly except for the checkered flag. No matter what, the checkered flag will be the next flag that flies after seeing that 1 to go, that white flag flying here. So for these green, white, checkers, It's a 2-lap shootout here. You got to go all the way around the racetrack, hope that there's no yellow flag out there on the speedway before we go back across the line and catch that white flag. If the caution flag does fly before we take that white flag, then we will rack them up, we will stack them up, and we will try it all over again. We will go back and attempt the NASCAR overtime restart in the NASCAR overtime 2-lap shootout here again this afternoon. So we're going to have 3 attempts at that. If we can't do the first try, we will have a second try. If we cannot get it done on the second try, we will have a third try. And if the third try, we do see the yellow flag come back out, this race will end under the yellow flag conditions. So for each and every one of these drivers, they know they want to just keep themselves out of trouble, keep themselves up there towards the front of the field. And now we get to see potentially the fresh tires here for Joshua Moore. I don't know, man. He came down pit road on lap 200 here. We were only supposed to run 200 laps, but now with NASCAR overtime, Moore has some fresh tires. He's back there in 13th. Can he find the speed? Can he find the groove? He's trying to race his way up here to the front of the field. Ashley Ellison Jr., Joe Bennett, Jason Steptoe all potentially have fresh tires as well back there in 13th, 14th, 15th, and 16th. We'll see if they can slice and dice their way through the field as some of these drivers in front of them haven't been on pit road since lap 146, and some haven't been on pit road since lap 167 and have a lot of green flag laps on their tires here. This could be a crazy finish as here we go. Pace truck makes the hard left-hand turn back down pit side. Matt Hayden, Clinton Woodby, door to door, up and through the gears as we go back to green flag racing for our first attempt at NASCAR overtime here this evening. Hayden out in front, he slides up the racetrack right there, and now here comes a good run from the 92. They're 2 wide and now looking to go 3 wide back here behind him, a little 4 wide as Joshua Moore making the move here. Joshua Moore down low, going 4 wide. Now here comes that 05. Gonna try to follow him right through as the fresh tires working their way to the front of the field. As we see that white flag fly one more time around here. Unfortunately for Joshua Moore and some of these drivers with those fresh tires, they may not have enough time to get back to the front. There is some contact down the back straightaway. Would be though in Matt Hayden, door to door, down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4 for the final time here this evening from Iowa Speedway, and it's Clinton Woodby who picks up the checkered flag. Woodby gets it done here this afternoon in the It's Cork 200 presented by Sonny's Donuts as the 92 rider Clinton Woodby picks up the W. He's able to beat Matt Hayden here today in Rusty Modesty. A great run here for the Sinclair Dyno Care number 6 machine as he comes home in 3rd. Caleb Kleinert, Joe Bennett are top 5. Kevin Winker back in 6th with Colton Hardy there in 7th. Joshua Moore coming home in 8th with Michael Madden and Daniel Dow rounding out our top 10. And as we look through the field here at some of these drivers that Matt Hayden, man, he was half a lap away from potentially finding himself up and into victory lane. Now sitting down pit side and watching this 92 ride celebrate as he comes home in position number 2. Had this race in the bag and it was stolen away from a very fast 92 ride late in this race as Clinton Woodby gets the job done and picks up a big checkered flag here this evening. We'll get ready to pull him up and into the broadcast booth here this afternoon, man. What a run, what a drive there for that 92 machine as Clinton Woodby picks up the dub and pulls himself up and in to the Iowa Speedway victory lane, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up here for our race winner, man. That was a heck of a run, heck of a battle right there as Beverly Rapp says, let's go 51. Joshua Moore cheered on Moore here in this one as Joel Moore says, make your move, number 51. He was making the moves. He was slicing and dicing back there. Unfortunately, ran into a couple issues, couldn't quite find his way up and through there and had to settle in for an 8th place finish, but a solid run there for the 05 ride of Joe Bennett, able to slice his way all the way up into 5th there after making that pit stop. Now, I think if we would have had a couple attempts there at NASCAR overtime, I think Bennett and Joshua Moore probably would have got there. But with this one being a one and done, only that one green-white checkered, they just did not have enough time to race their way up here to the front of the field. As you see, Clinton Woodby still celebrating, still pumped up, still excited, finally getting this checkered flag and pulling himself up and into the winner's circle here this evening. We'll get ready to pull him up and into the broadcast booth here for his post-race interview. Clinton getting the job done, put himself up into victory lane. Let's get him up here into the broadcast booth. Hey, Clinton, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Clinton, man, what a run, what a race, man. Take us back through this one as the 92 truck seemed like it had some pretty good speed all evening long, but late in this race, obviously some different tire strategy, different pitch strategy, and you raced your way around some very fast drivers and up into position number 2. Now, you had about a second gap or so trying to hunt down Matt Hayden. You're slowly but surely getting there, but you knew the laps were counting down, and without that late race caution flag, I don't think any of this would have been possible for you, as Hayden was just on cruise control and looking down the barrel trying to pick up this checkered flag, but the caution flag and the green-white checker changes the whole thing, brings you right back to his outside, and allows you to duke it out here with him on this green-white checkered, and you're able to beat him. Is up on the high side. You're just able to cruise control around him, keep your foot in the throttle out of corner number 4, and beat him back down across the line here at Iowa Speedway, and put yourself up and into victory lane, man. Take us back through this race, and how are you feeling up there in that winner's circle here this afternoon?
I feel great. It feels like it's been a whole season since I've been just on the podium. I've been close a couple times this year, but being close just makes me itching for a win that much more, not just a podium. But yeah, I think we had 3 sets of tires besides the ones we started on, so we were strategizing pretty much from the drop of the green flag what to do with tires. That first run, I just tried to save as much as I could because I knew I probably wasn't going to be taking tires at the stage. And most of the time throughout the race, the cautions just kind of fell our way so we could take advantage of the tires. And on the run, especially there at the end, I think everybody ahead of me and Matt was on old tires, so we was able to get through the field decently. And I think it was like maybe 30 seconds. And I told Matt, I was like, well, good win, bud. You deserve this one. And then the caution comes out, and just had to change gears then, try to go for the win.
Yeah, absolutely. Gotta change those gears. Gotta kind of readjust your thought processes here. We're kind of getting settled in there for that second place run, and happy with your day. Good point stay at the speedway, and then all of a sudden the window opens back up and you just jump right on through it and right through the front door and picking up the dub here in Iowa, man. What a run and what a drive for you. Yeah, parked that 92 up and in victory lane, man. Who would you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance here this evening?
Yeah, first and foremost, shout out to my girlfriend Megan. She's my #1 supporter. Couldn't thank her enough. And Blair Peterson with the Win a Bid diecast. Go get him for all your NASCAR, dirt car, any car diecast you need. He's got it, I'm sure, or he'll find it for you. And all my teammates, Matt, Rusty, Dylan, all those guys for being in there with us tonight. And you guys for putting on the stream.
Absolutely, brother. Well, another question here as you pick up that checkered flag and you park this right up and in victory lane, man. What's the deal with the Goldberg paint scheme here? I know Goldberg was an old school wrestler, man. I remember watching Goldberg way back when I was a young lad, and I haven't really heard that name in a long time, and it's pretty cool to see that car painted up here for Goldberg. Yeah, you know, what's the thought process? What's the reasoning behind rolling this ride out there on the racetrack and into victory lane?
That was kind of just a spur of the moment thing. Colton is actually the guy who makes my paints with Full Throttle, and it was originally going to be a Jeff Hardy scheme, but that was going to be a lot of work. So I was like, let's just make a Goldberg car. Like I forget who it was. There was a #9 Goldberg Taurus back in the day, and we just kind of rolled with that. But I grew up a big Goldberg fan. I didn't watch wrestling all the time, but I knew who Goldberg was, and I was a fan of him enough to get the tattoo. And it just so happens he ended up with the same taste in cars and everything else as I did. Once I got older, realized all that. So just just kind of wanted to throw it together. It was kind of a throwback to Tom Mentz's monster truck too. That was another thing.
Very cool, very cool. Well, I'm glad that there's a little bit of history there behind it, and showing your support there for Goldberg and the WWE, man. And here you are putting a smackdown on everybody here this evening as you park that 92 up and in victory lane here this evening. Congratulations on the win, Clinton. Hopefully many more trips up here into the broadcast booth here this season.
Appreciate it, bud.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
Yep, you too.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Clinton Woodby. Woodby picking up the checkered flag here as his girlfriend Megan White in the chat says, way to go, Woodby. Cheering on that number 92 ride all evening long and watching Clinton pick up a big victory here at Iowa Speedway. It's got to be very, very happy moment there, not only for him, but for his girlfriend and the rest of his friends and family and fans in the stands here this evening as we'll get ready to pull in our second place finisher. The driver that looked to have this one in the bag and unfortunately and that bag stolen right underneath of him here this afternoon. It's Matt Hayden who comes home in position number 2. Let's pull Matt up and in to the broadcast booth. Hey, Matt, it's Aaron up here in the broadcast booth. You get a copy?
Hey, Aaron, what's going on, bud?
Not much, Matt. Man, what a run. What a drive here for you, man. Strategy ended up playing out pretty much perfectly here for you. You're about half a lap away from seeing that white flag fly, which would have been, just a cruise control lap for you to pick up the dub here this evening. And all of a sudden, that late race yellow flag, you got to duke it out there with Clinton Woodby late in this race, and he's able to steal this one away from you after probably, a good couple handfuls of laps, just knowing that this one was yours. And the only way you were going to lose it was a mistake from yourself for seeing that caution flag fly, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, kind of unfortunate to get the caution right there. I mean, it's, when it was 25 to go, I think we got out to about a 1.5 lead. And really, once we kind of got in front of those guys, we had that buffer, the guys that didn't have tires to, I think Colton May had tires. I know Rusty and Clinton had tires. And so when we got that buffer, we kind of just tried to back down because I was like, well, if we have a caution here in like 5-10 laps, I need to have a little bit more meat on the bone. And so we kind of just paced and got up to about a second lead. And then, you start kind of thinking like, man, okay, if we get a caution within 10 to go, what do we do? And then you don't think you're going to have one that late. But it is what it is. Thought we really stole it. We as a team, I mean, we finished 1, 2, 3. So ultimately happy with how things turned out. We all kind of rolled the same strategy to try to not run or not take tires early on, run a set late, and then hope for a late caution or something. Which we got one with about I think maybe 40 to go. We would have liked it a little bit better if it was inside like 30 or 25 to go, but. Man, I guess we picked the wrong lane on the restart. We restart on the bottom, I think, better than everybody else. Wrapped the bottom better. I thought I could hold him at least for 2 laps, and man, he just got it done, man.
Yeah, he got it done and was able to beat you here this afternoon. But as you said, 1, 2, 3 finish here for you and the team. So if you're going to lose to anybody, if anyone was going to steal it, you kind of feel at least a little bit better than it was your teammate out there on the racetrack taking this one away from you.
Yeah, no, I'm happy for him. It's a win on the board for him. Playoff type format. So, ultimately overall as a team, that's the biggest accomplishment we could have. Whether we're pushing at Talladega or just trying to help out. Would have liked to behold the trophy though. So, no matter who it is, you want to win, and that's I'm out here to win races. I'm not out here to finish second. So. It's another close finish. We've had a couple of close finishes this year. We probably should have a couple of wins under our belt, but it is what it is. Happy for him. He honestly, don't tell him I said it, but those last 10 laps he was catching me. I was pushing hard, and he was catching me about a tenth a lap. So I don't think he would have caught me, but if there was another 5 laps on the board, he probably would have been past me anyway. So it's well deserved by him. He drove his ass off.
Absolutely, he was definitely catcher there late in the race, but as I said, man, he just was not gonna have time there, and all of a sudden he found all the time he needed and was able to beat you here this evening. A heartbreaker for you, Matt, as you come home in position number 2. We would like to thank, though, for such a great run and strong performance here this evening, and another good run to be up into the broadcast booth.
Yeah, man. Want to thank the guys from Misfit Motorsports. It's been fun with this group. I've raced with Rusty for a few years now. Clinton came on with us for this season. Just two smart race drivers. They understand. I've learned a lot from them. So just strategy wise and race pace and lines and stuff like that, and just kind of helped me kind of elevate my game. So I appreciate the help there. Guys over at the Challenger Racing League racing on Tuesday nights. It's a blast over there in Cup Series. Always looking for new people to come out if anybody's watching or anybody in this league wants to come run with us on Tuesday nights. And then I want to thank Lindsay Fitzmaurice for supporting us, and she got our paint scheme done for the Cup Series last week. So I appreciate all of her help getting that special paint done. And Jimmy, we miss you in the Speedo, buddy. So appreciate everybody.
Absolutely, brother. Matt, enjoy the second place run here this evening. I know it was a heartbreaker, man, but still a very good point stay and a very solid performance from you, brother, and we can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack next Monday, and hopefully right back up here in the broadcast booth, and maybe let's fun better and in victory lane.
Yeah, we're planning on see you next week.
Beauty. Enjoy the rest of your night.
All right, see you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Matt Hayden. As Hayden comes home here in position number 2, solid run, solid drive there for that number 5 ride, as we'll get ready to pull in our third place finisher now here this afternoon. It was the Sinclair Dyno Care number 6 rider, Rusty Modesty. Modesty coming home there in position number 3. Let's pull him up into the broadcast booth. Hey, Rusty, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Hey, how are you?
Not too bad. Rusty, man, a solid run, solid drive for you all day long as we saw you battling up inside the top 5, up inside the top 10, and then late in this race making some moves, slicing and dicing, and being able to come home with a solid third-place finish here. You're going to be pretty happy with the performance of that 6 car here this evening.
Yeah, that was a fun one, man. A few 3 wides, few 4 wides, different tire strategies. Just tight racing. I mean, it was a fun one overall.
Definitely a very fun race, as you said, man. A lot of different strategies. The calculators were working overtime for fuel, and obviously tires playing such a major factor here in this race. And for a while there, you guys were just running away with this one. And then even late in this race, you and your teammates here on the season coming home 1, 2, and 3. It's going to feel pretty good being able to show up and show off just like that.
Yeah, that was a fun one to do. You've probably heard it from them, but I think we ran like 78 or something laps on the first set of tires. So it didn't really feel like a smart strategy midway through the race when we got a pretty bad caution that put us a lap down. Yeah, just through a little attrition here, was able to play some cautions, get back on the lead lap, and use those extra sets and go to town. So some fun driving there when you're on a new set, everyone else is on 20, 30 lap old tires. You feel like Superman. And had a few good fun 4 wide moments there. Just couldn't ask for any better driving from everyone in the league. And all the respect with everyone that's on different strategies, and again, overall great race by everyone. Super fun one to be part of.
Absolutely. Looked like a ton of fun out there on the racetrack, and it's always that much better when you're able to jump up and join us in the broadcast booth, knowing that you're able to come home inside the top 3. A solid point stay, a solid race for yourself, and a lot of things to be happy about here after a run like you had here this evening. Obviously qualifying very good there in second, and then running up at the front of the field early on, and then here at the end being able to bounce back and put yourself into this 3rd place finish. And it's got to feel like almost a win in the books here for you. It's been a bit of a rough start to the season for that 6 machine.
yeah, you're telling me. I had a hard time finishing races earlier in the season. I got good stage points, qualified well, finished well. So wasn't a home run, but man, it was a maybe a double. So
Yeah,
we'll take it.
Maybe a double, maybe a triple out there, maybe just stretched out a little farther and got that triple. Man, it was a great run, a great race here for you tonight, Rusty, man. Who would you like to thank for such a strong performance here this evening at Iowa?
Yeah, man. Shout out to the team over at Misfit Motorsports. Love racing with these guys. Super fun to be around. Congrats to Clinton on his win today and a hard fought battle with Matt there at the end. Shout out to Nate and the team of admins that keep this league going. This is a fun one to be a part of. And Peacemaker, thank you. Thanks for putting this broadcast on. Friends, family, love it. Lastly, Lindsay Fitzmaurice, shout out. She's the wind beneath our wings.
Beauty. Well, Rusty, great run, great triumph here this evening, brother. We can't wait to see you back out on the racetrack next Monday. Hopefully right back up here in the broadcast booth and maybe parking yourself up here in Victory Lane.
Thank you.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry about that. I had to sneeze. I knew that was coming. I knew that was coming right there. I'm glad that I was able to get muted and didn't blow out your eardrums, as did not want to do that on right into the microphone. That would have been bad. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, unfortunately, that brings a close to tonight's action for us here. Some great racing, some great battles out there on the racetrack. And as these guys said, man, some 2-wide, 3-wide, even a little bit of 4-wide racing action here at Iowa Speedway. We did see a few caution flags. We saw some great green flag runs out there. And for each and every one of these drivers, having a heck of a run, heck of a battle out there, putting on a great show for each and every single one of us to enjoy. K-Dub says wild finish for top 10, first top 10 this season. That's crazy that this is K-Dub's first top 10 of the season. Said he didn't want that last caution. Had a top 5. Yeah, had that top 5. Unfortunately slipped back there. All that green-white checkered back into that 6th position. But man, K-Dub having his first top 10 in 6 races of this season, man, that's crazy. K-Dub, what's happened to you, brother? You've fallen off. What is going on with that 42? We need to get you figured out. We need to get you back up into your winning ways. As ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we can't thank you guys enough for tuning in. Everyone coming in with the likes, the comments, the shares, everyone showing the love here this evening. We appreciate each and every single one of you. And if you haven't already, it's not too late to do it, man. Even if we're no longer live, even if you're rewatching the broadcast a couple days later, make sure you guys still do us a favor. Hit that like button on the stream, drop a couple comments on it, and make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that bell notification. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. And we'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace and love, baby. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.
Mellow bass screaming, rubber burns on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Peacemaker, friction sparks light the night. Track of war sounds, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my 6, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Rivals on my 6, but my grip don't waver. Drafting with sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fierce compete. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers, a siren's call. Only one metalhead lies above it all. Turbocharged fury on straights we fly. Nitrous veins pumping, we touch the sky. Back grandstands buzz, saying our name. Each lap we caught ignites the game flame. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Wah! Mellow bass screaming, rubber birds on black. Engines roaring thunder, ain't no turning back. Beast make a friction, sparks light the night. Track of war zones, adrenaline takes flight. Metalheads moving, the trucks take the lead. Chasing that cloud through the chaos insane. Diesel hearts pumping, it's a high-speed game. Victory lap, gonna carve out the name. Rebels on my six, but my grip don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears come paint. Rivals on my six, but my grit don't waver. Drafting wind sharp, every move's got flavor. Brakes don't squeal, they scream in heat. On the asphalt battlefield, where the fears come paint. Tires grip tight, flames dance on steel. Spins and skids twist, every moment surreal. Checker flag whispers a siren's call. Only one metal